Well, here's one we've all been waiting for, the Lamborghini 5-pack. I know that Frisian Thomas, my friend, has reviewed this already, but I haven't, and I'm desperate to take some pictures of these cars. There's a couple of new models in there, and a couple of old models as well. So, before further ado, let's have a shifty. I've had this for a few months now, probably about 2 or 3, maybe more. Who knows? It's just been sitting there waiting to be unopened, and I had a choice between getting this or the Police 5-pack, and at the time I got it from Toys R Us. Good old Toys R Us, who are with us no more. So I'm glad I picked it up, but it did cost quite a few pounds, 15 to be precise, and that's quite a lot. There's a load of stuff holding these cars on, so it's going to take a little bit longer to open it up than I thought. Wow, there was a ton of stuff holding these things on. There's sellotape and all the rest of it, and it is actually a rather nice scenario, should you care to keep these in the box. But I wasn't up for that. I really wanted to get them out and have a roll around. So here they all are in their wonderful glory. And the first ones I think I'm going to look at, these two Aventadors. I believe that's an Aventador. Yep, Lamborghini Aventador 1/64 scale. If I remember rightly, this one is an older casting. I'm not 100% sure though, because if I remember rightly, it used to be held down with a screw up the front there. So here it is, in black with some rather magnificent Italian stripes on there for the flag of Italy. Probably my favourite Aventador colour is black anyway, so that's lovely. So it's got tampos up the back there. It's got lovely insert headlamps up the front, intakes. All in all, a startling machine. Very nice indeed. And just to make sure, there we go. So we do actually have two Aventadors, a matte black one and this rather luscious red model. Appears to have little marker lights up the front there. They are not scratches. I'm liking this red and the gold together. Very traditional Lamborghini colourings. Nice detailing. Spankingly good interior. Very nice. Good badging up the front there. If you can just make out the ball. And it should have tampos around the back. Well, it probably has got red ones, but you just can't make them out. But that is, all in all, a rather attractive model. And I think it's showing the same wheels, yes. It's got gold wheels instead of black. Lamborghini Gallardo. It's interesting, it's got the speed on the base there, made in Thailand. Oh, I've still got elastic. You know, I just could not get rid of all this elastic. You think you've got it all, and then another piece comes along just to make sure that you... There you go. Look at that. There must be someone sitting in a factory somewhere doing this elastic. How annoying. But there you go. It does keep the car secure, which is good, I guess, so for shipping. Wow. This one actually is screwed down. So my guess is that this is possibly the original casting. I'm liking the interior again. Lots of lovely, lovely detail. This is a bit of a racing model. Look at that, racing. Number 27, 1964 on the side there. There we go, that's probably when Lamborghini was founded. Back in the good old days, Lamborghini Racing. Or not necessarily racing, but the car company. Because they used to make tractors before that. And Mr. Lamborghini had a bit of an argument with Mr. Ferrari, and decided to build his own car. And that's where where it all started, really, back in the day. So that's a rather attractive car, quite a big scale compared to the Aventador. What scale does it say on the base there? Next up then, ooh, this is the one. This is why I bought this 5-pack. This and the next car. I really like the whole thing of having a Polizei or Polizia sports car. I believe in real life this one got crashed. Maybe they had a couple on the workforce. I thought I'd compare this actually to the Siku model, because this is a big old casting, and I'll tell you why. It's because the Siku casting is 1/55 scale, and there we go. So that's actually almost 1/55 scale. In fact, it's really not that far off. It's definitely a different casting. As you can see, there's lots of differences up front there. Around the rear, Polizia. I quite like the Siku blue, although the dark blue is rather attractive. And they've done a lovely job. Majorette have done a beautiful job on that light bar on the top there. And there you go. There's a little comparison for you. And just if that wasn't enough, just to show you why, who remembers this one here? Oh yes, it's the Matchbox. And the Matchbox went also with a slightly lighter blue. Although, it's kind of the middle of the two. The Matchbox car much more 1/64 when you compare it to, there we go, the Aventador. But the light bar, a little bit of a letdown. But overall, hey look, 113. It's the same number as the Majorette. Well, you would never have known that unless you'd taken them out. So yeah, that must be the one that that crashed. Whoops. Yes, brilliant stuff. It's nice to have two anyway. Finally, the other reason why I bought this this 5-pack was for this piece here. This is a brand new tooling from Majorette. Well, I say brand new, it's about a year old now. Brand new to me. This is actually now available in their current premium car lineup. And it is gorgeous. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love the colour of it as well. And it kind of reminds me of an old aeroplane or a military vehicle of some sort. And of course there's a little Italian roundel on the side there. It's kind of reminiscent of some sort of Italian jet fighter. That's brilliant. And now I do believe this car has an opening feature, which we'll have a look at in a second. So just check around the back there. It's all tempoed up. Of course this is the Huracan, is it? Yes, the Lamborghini Huracan in 1/64. Guaranteed 1/64. and this is the feature, it does actually have an opening lid at the rear there to reveal some quite nice detail. Little engine in there, look. Fantastic. Now that is cool. Of course, all the premium cars now feature an opening feature of some sort. Very reminiscent of, well, of course, all the Lamborghini design right now has this huge ducting up the front here. It's a standard procedure. Much more like the Murcielago though, with this smooth sides. I suppose it's out there to replace the Gallardo to some extent. It's quite Gallardo-esque actually. Beautiful, and there we go. That is the Lamborghini 5-pack from Majorette.
Hello, and I thought I would make a separate little section here just dedicated to the Lamborghini Countach, or however you'd like to pronounce it, which of course a lot of you guys will have very fond memories of having, you know, pictures up on your walls of it, and you know, it's still, I think, an incredible looking car even in this day and age. Main reason for this is because I bought these three Matchbox Countach cars from a chap, and it was mainly to get hold of this version, which is the Laser Disc, or the Lasers series by Matchbox, done in the mid to late 80s, I suppose it was. Yeah, I think very attractive, and you can just probably make out, I don't know, that it does say LP500S on there in pink, but it's not come through too well. LP500, of course, is the other name for the Countach, the more official name. So that was particularly attractive. And then with this one, which is, I always thought was a piece of fiction, because this car sort of lives in a different aspect on the header cards for US released Matchbox cars in the 80s. Okay, so it was a Lamborghini Countach done in this design, and I always thought it was fiction, and then I saw that it was an actual release. So I don't know whether it was because they did it as the artwork and then they did the model, or it was at the same time. This being one of the earlier incarnations of it. Spoilt somewhat by the wheels, as usual, I'm afraid. We've got problems here on the back with just not really being at the right scale, but the stance of this particular model actually is quite interesting. It sits at a greater degree of incline, so to speak, the body, as opposed to that one, which is more flat. But minor points, I suppose. These are, of course, they were supposed to be toys at this stage. They weren't concentrating on being absolutely critically the same as the car. This is what Matchbox did the first time round, and this actually came up on Instagram recently. There's a chap called Mac Ragan, who is an American guy who's written a number of different books about Matchbox, does some lovely photographs to go with them, and he put some pictures up talking about this particular Matchbox car, because it was released in 1973, as you can see, and to a lot of people it was hopelessly wrong in terms of its portrayal of the car. However, there is an excuse for that of sorts, because the guys at Lesney, Matchbox, obviously wanted to get this car out quickly, and the real car, which was the prototype version, which was really a Bertoni, who were the designers. They did a sort of release model of it was a concept at that stage for Lamborghini of the LP500, and it hadn't even got a name, Countach, at that stage. And there was a lot of differences with the eventual design finish. But it would appear that Matchbox were so quick to try and get this thing out that they were working off sketches and photographs, and they just got a number of things very wrong. It does actually say Countach there in nearly the approximate script of the prototype. But there you go. The engine is pretty spot on, but we've got a lot of issues with the fact of it's just, well, if you know the car, you can see where the problems are. But there are differences. If we use this Hot Wheels car as a comparison, you can see that with the eventual car that came out, they put scoops in here, hooded scoops and vents here. This is because the engine was producing so much heat and required so much cooling that they had to put extra vents and scoops in rather hastily. And also another what is called a NACA scoop here, which was missing off the original. So there was a lot of very noticeable differences. Anyway, it's a piece of the Matchbox history which is less than impressive, but I suppose it has its own charm. And that side window is horrendous, and the thickness of this pillar here. But I mean, difficult times in the early 70s, I suppose. Matchbox were having difficulties like everybody was because of the financial crises going on, and I suppose they were also really trying to compete with Hot Wheels and focusing really on getting things right as toys rather than accurate representations, which is what they was always known for in the past. But there you go. And there was a Space 1999 number on there. I found out that this typeface, which we are quite familiar with, which was always used for spacey technology things back in the 70s, was originally designed in the 60s and was called Westminster. That was the typeface name, apparently. I found that out yesterday. So yes, I thought I'd just quickly cover this one. This is the Hot Wheels release, which is a re-release that came out about a year or so ago as a part of the Lamborghini series, but this originally came out, trying to see the date on there, 1987. So it's a re-release, but it's got a metal base, which is interesting. I've changed the wheels. I have put on Real Rider wheels because the ones that came with it were just basic releases, and I've done a little bit of detailing with the NACA scoop and these vents at the top, just to bring out the detail. I think it's a particularly attractive model. And one of Hot Wheels' better efforts, even though it's a re-release. And talking to Hot Wheels, this is the tuned version